Welcome. Thanks everyone for joining us today on the STEERus Weekly Grind virtual coffee break. We are so excited that you are here. Just to let you all know, this is our inaugural conversation. We are going to be meeting here each week at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for a 15-minute talk about professional development. My name is Carole Burton, and I'm the founder of Radiance Resources, where I specialize in equity, communication, and adaptive leadership. I'm also part of the STEERus executive team. Thank you to today's guest, Stan Gloss, the co-founder of the BioTeam, for joining us today. So Stan, welcome, and tell us about yourself and the BioTeam, please.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Carole. 20 years ago, we found a need in the marketplace between science and technology and bridging the gap between science and technology. And we built a consulting firm. 4 friends put together $250 a piece, founded a company. 18 years later, we are now 36 people, and we serve many of the large Fortune 500 pharmaceutical companies and U.S. government and National Institutes of Health. And again, leading in bridging that gap between science and technology.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. So because you have this amazing experience and how you all built up what you've created, this body of work, in what areas do you see people and organizations, like where do you see them struggling right now?
Right now, I think there's a tremendous talent gap. We're going through a time of digital transformation where we spent probably the last 15, 20 years digitizing things, and everything's become digital. You know, it's not like you go to the print out pictures anymore, and you're not sending out postcards anymore, where everything's becoming digitized. But now, how do organizations, take those what they've digitized and turn those into digital assets? So finding the talent that understands, I think, is the hardest thing right now, because a lot of the schools and people's educations didn't prepare them for the onslaught of the technology that we're faced with today. And many organizations are trying to use digital transformation as a way of differentiating themselves in the marketplace. So finding the people with the skills that we need are hard right now. The answer is you have to train people. You have to really put them on the job and do a lot of mentoring. I think in that same vein, from a perspective of an employee, the struggle is to stay current.
Sure.
Because the speed at which everything is moving is accelerating. So, trying to become a lifelong learner and trying to also look for opportunities to stay current and seeing where the new things are coming, and just planning to study and keep at your skill and craft.
Are those areas that you described, and thank you for being so detailed in that, are those areas or initiatives your organization are embracing to help overcome these struggles within the industry? And I mean, it's really a global conversation. It really doesn't matter what industry it's in. I'm asking it from an overall perspective.
Well, again, it's a very competitive marketplace for talent. We hire highly talented people. So it's a matter of, one, valuing your staff as an absolute asset. It's not, you don't assume that people are just going to come and stay for the sake of staying. Staff have to feel valued. And our staff has to feel challenged. And especially with the younger generation, it's even more important to keep them challenged and to also keep them on mission. This is a generation that does care about the company mission, that you are doing things to make the world a better place. So really setting that into your strategy is really critical to maintaining and developing your talent. And we do a lot of mentoring, so that people can share and learn from each other as we learn, because we're faced with new problems that we've never seen every day.
Good point. And what soft skills, I call them qualitative skills, to be honest, do you believe that people had more of?
Yeah, so that's, I think it's not only in business, but the world could use a lot more empathy.
Agreed.
In that, understanding, being able to stop from what your own perspective is and see the world from either, if it's like for us as an organization, we like to see things from our staff's perspective, and we want our staffs to see from our clients' perspective. So it all builds on each other, but it is a sense of empathy and being able to, really put yourself in one person's shoes.
Got it. And so with that said, and this is a beautiful beautiful segue. What is your message for educators and trainers to better support emerging leaders, Generation Next, that whole area of those really emerging leaders in a very unique way? Because we're having so many emerging leaders is now becoming a bigger swath, right, within the Generation Next conversation. So what is your message to educators and trainers, coaches, advisors, mentors, champions?
Yeah, it goes back to having that compelling mission, ties back to doing good for society. This next generation cares a lot deeply about being attached to a mission that they can personally connect to. So it's not like in the older generations you could have capitalism, but now it has to really be conscientious capitalism. You still have to make a profit in your business, and you still have to do these kinds of things, but you have to do it from a point of being conscientious of society. And I think that's critically important.
Yeah, it is. And how do you see that coming about with the digital spaces of our technology? Like, what are you seeing at the horizon, to your point earlier, to really gain it's giving access to widen the pie is really what this is. I mean, last year as an example, we saw Google and Apple essentially giving away, become certified, come to the digital world. Is that the beginning?
Yeah, I mean,
to bring in to expand the workforce, if you will.
Yes, I mean, I think so. That we have to have a digitally savvy workforce. We have to have people who look at data as an asset and really know how to work with data, because when we really work with data, then we can identify, in terms of healthcare, we can identify diseases earlier, treat people earlier. Good quality data could allow us to really deliver higher quality healthcare that we can't get now, so that, now our phones are helping us gather information, about the phone. Now the phone has it such that if you fall down, you can get 911 right there. I mean, these are good uses of digital technology. I mean, obviously there's the bad side of people who are going to do bad things with your data. But I mean, I think the majority of everybody wants to do good and wants to do a better job. I mean, if we learn nothing from COVID, what we did learn is that some of the barriers that we thought about sharing data that we thought were going to be difficult to break down actually came down very quickly. And organizations that you thought would never work together magically worked together to get us through the crisis. So that was a beginning of the new digital drug discovery process. And we are now going to reap the benefit. We had tremendous loss. We had tremendous gain. I think the other thing one topic I want to just mention that I think we need to talk about in the future in terms of diversity of the workforce, and making sure that we have a more diverse approach, because diversity brings all this serendipitous experience that allows us to think outside the box to solve the complex problems that we face. Our problems are getting much more complex, and one person can't solve it. And people from different backgrounds and different experiences bring more enriched thought to it. And I think one of the things that I would like to see happen in the future is the expansion of diversity to also include neurodiversity. And neurodiversity, to me, I'm a kid who grew up with dyslexia, and I have colleagues who have ADHD and some people who are on the spectrum. We're not disabled. We're actually quite enabled. And we can provide a unique new approach to diversity, which is a neural diversity. It's not based on gender, sex, whatever.
The other equities.
The other
allocations of equity. Understand.
But valuing everybody for all the gifts that they have.
And in that, how we process, how we think in process while creating and building processes. I think that's part of this as well. Thank you. That was fabulous. One more quick question before we close, actually two. In one or two words, the world needs more what? Compassion
about our colleagues, compassion about our clients that we serve, compassion about society. We need more of that, and we need to become much more compassionate. There's been too much divisiveness and divisiveness that it's pushed us apart from the closeness that we could have, because it's that closeness of working together that creates the trust and the serendipitous moments that will lead us to amazing discoveries and and the future is really bright. I've met a lot of these young people who I work with that are some of the most amazing people I've met, and it makes me feel so relieved to know that some of these kids are so brilliant and so passionate about their beliefs that it makes me very happy, because we have a full range in our company of staff.
Wonderful.
From all the generations. Perfect. Are reflected.
Perfect. Thank you. And so thank you so much for your time today. It was great to connect and learn so much. Where can we learn more about your work and
so our website is bioteam.net.
Okay.
And check us out. It's we fit the place between science and if you're interested in solving complex problems at the intersection of science and technology, that's where you'll find BioTeam.
Perfect. That's amazing. And it's very much needed and very timely.
Yes.
So thank you so much again. Appreciate you joining us. And thank you all for listening to our conversation today with Stan Boss. Our next chat is with Sandy Porter from Digital World. We're going to have that on July 8th. Thank you so much for joining us again. To learn more about STEERus, check us out on our website at steerus.io. You can also check us out on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Again, thank you, Stan. Everyone be well.
Take care now.
Empowered. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Take care.